interesting job. They had a mock draft, by the way, yesterday of how they select their football playoff teams, and I know Justin was there for that. We will get with him on all of that. That is coming your way. And then at the end of the show, we got Munsey. Jason Munz, basketball beat writer for the Commercial Appeal on the Tigers, will join us. He's written a few interesting stories, graded the rosters, did a great story about Hassan Abdul Hakim, who he gave an A-. Could be the next Draymond Green? I got to ask him about that. But Munsey will join us to end the show. He's also covering the Tigers and the Hogs. We'll get into that. I want to first talk a little bit about the new replacement for 901 FC that will be Memphis FC. And this is not a professional team. It is called a pre-professional team. It is so there are levels of American soccer, right? The MLS is the number one. That's the major league. And that's what it is, Major League Soccer. USL Championship, which Memphis had with 901 FC for 6 years, that is the second level. That's like AAA. Then USL has Division 1 and Division 2. And Division is 2. It's like single A. Division 2 is what Memphis FC will be. They're going to play at Mike Rose. You know, I hope this is hugely successful, and I will support it. I will go to games. I'll watch these up-and-comers that will make USL championship and that will make MLS. It's great for this area because all the great youth soccer will then be able to become a development project by this group of professional administrators and coaches to get these guys to where they want to go. And it'll be fun to watch the competition. And being played at Mike Rose, that is not the greatest facility. I don't think, I mean, the pitch is fine. It's out there. I think that's where the people are. I would hope this, seriously. It's clear we would still have 901 FC if they had built a soccer-specific stadium. By the end of 26, the USL Championship made it clear you had to have a soccer-specific stadium. It was very costly to change over AutoZone Park from baseball to soccer every time. And frankly, it was a compromised field, even though you had to spend 10, 12 grand to change it every time. Every time the field was not perfect. It was bad for baseball. It was bad for soccer. They had to have that stadium. They didn't get it. That's why they moved. There's just pure and simple. But here's what I hope. I hope one of these affluent suburbs, Germantown, Collierville, with land and infrastructure, I would hope they would build a soccer-specific stadium if this works out. Because this is where the people play. This is where the biggest interest is, other than the Latino population that was coming pre-COVID to the 901 FC games. Stop coming. Build it where they are. Build a brand new stadium. If this works, put it there and see how that goes. And, you know, I would love it if there was one of these suburban mayors that was really aggressive, that wanted more dollars from entertainment districts, that could come up with that concept. That would be cool. But that's a long way off. Let's just hope that this newest Memphis FC at Mike Rose can be successful. The Tigers tomorrow, can't wait for it. Listen, and I always love it when Brendan Lang picks the Tigers. He thought 7.5 was too much. I think it's going to be a great game. I just learned from the University of Memphis, there's less than 1,700 tickets left, and the expected capacity now with where they are is like 39,800. So I'm going to call it 40,000. That means we got 38,000 tickets already sold. Come on, 1,700. They're saying get to the stadium early, especially if you're going to be a walk-up, because there is time consumption involved in getting a ticket. All right? So get to the stadium early. There's going to be a lot of tailgating. Please take care of business. Get there early. And know this, there are some very cool pregame ceremonies honoring Fred Smith. So you might want to get there for that as well. Get into the ballpark itself for that. Keys in this game, turnovers, always. But Memphis has been good. 40 created turnovers coming into this year from last year, okay? Turnovers will be a part of it because both teams are going to score, and that's the thing. Memphis has to keep up offensively with the Hogs because I think they've got a great offense, and they've got a guy that might win the Heisman. He's number one in total yards from any player. They talk about him in the Heisman conversation. And I know the Tigers, with this very unpredictable defense, have made it hard on a lot of people. They haven't been scored upon in 6 quarters. Honestly, we know that's Georgia State. We know that's Troy. That's not Arkansas. But if they can just slow down Taylor Green, you're not going to totally stop him, but you can't let him beat you. If Washington beats you, if Omega Blake, their receiver that came from Nashville, by the way, he started at Power Fours. He's a quality speedster of a receiver. He had 128 yards and 3 catches and a touchdown for the Charlotte team last year against the Tigers. Let him beat you. Let Washington, they're a really good running back, beat you. You can't let Green beat you. I know that's part of what the Tigers coaching staff is thinking. Be nice if Duozier could play. He's still listed as day-to-day. All right, very quickly, we do a thing. Landon Schmidt and I, my extraordinary producer here. He's not so extraordinary, though, when it comes to picking. He's 5-10. I'm 8-7. Here's another chance, Landon, for you to redeem yourself. And there are some great games. Tulane going to Ole Miss. I think I heard that line went up to 13.5. So we're going to make that 13.5, Landon. I got it down on your sheet at 12.5. It's 13.5. And I'm going Green Wave all the way. I don't know that they will beat Ole Miss, but I think that's way too many points for an offense and a quarterback who's been productive wherever he's been, and I can't see why he wouldn't be productive here. And Ole Miss's defense has surrendered points. I would not call them a juggernaut. I think Tulane hangs here. I don't think they beat them, but I think they hang here. I take the Green Wave in this ball game. I'll get Landon's here in a minute, who is hooking up with Glenn Rogers Jr., who joins us momentarily here. Okay, Landon, Tulane, Ole Miss. I got the green.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It didn't matter if it was 12.5 or 13.5. I still think the point spread is way too big, and I agree with you. I don't think Tulane wins this game, but certainly keeps it close within that point spread. So I'm going Green Wave as well.
Auburn at Oklahoma. I know the Auburn quarterback used to be at Oklahoma. There is a real sense that the way to go here is Hugh Freeze and try to make a point and stay relevant and stay in it and save your job. I think Oklahoma's for real. I think Mateer is really good. They're going to Oklahoma. It's 7.5. I think they're going to win the game by 10. I'll take Boomer Sooner.
I'm going to go with Auburn here. I like their rushing attack. I like what they have going on. They've shown that they don't really have a problem with their offensive production. Neither of these teams do, but I imagine it will be a close game. So I'm going to go with the 7.5, thinking it's going to be a touchdown game at the most, maybe a field goal, something like that. But I'm going to go with Auburn here.
South Carolina is at Missouri. That's Columbia, Missouri, because they're both in Columbia. The Tigers are getting 9.5, and I looked at that and I said, wow, Sellers must still be out. So I did a bunch of Googling today. Sellers is supposed to play. He is listed as probable. I may regret this if he doesn't play or if he's not 100%, but I don't think Missouri is a 9.5-point favorite if Sellers plays in this game. I'm taking the chance. I think Sellers will play. South Carolina will be in this game the whole way. 9.5 too much. Give me the Gamecocks.
I'm going to stick right there with you with the Gamecocks, and I think a lot of this does rest on the fact if Lenore Sellers plays and if he does a good job, because I think he really is the captain of this offense, and when he gets moving, everybody else seems to go in the same direction with him. So with the point spread that big, I'm going to go with South Carolina as well.
Florida is at Miami. They've got to give away 9.5, but they're in Miami. I know there will be a lot of Gator fans there. There always are with an in-state rival. But Florida's not good. I'm sorry. They can't score, and Miami can. Miami put points on Notre Dame. Miami beat up USF, which, by the way, has a really good defense. 9.5, no problem. Give me Miami.
I'm right there with you. I think Florida is kind of licking their wounds right now. DJ Lagway doesn't look very good, and the whole team kind of seems like it's crumbling. I think they will put up a fight, but I think Miami runs away with this one.
And then finally, Illinois at Indiana, great Big Ten rivalry. Illinois going to Bloomington and getting 6.5. This is not Indiana from last year, in my mind. Illinois has all these people back this year. They're a very experienced football team. There's something about the 6.5. I think it's a field goal game any way you look at it. I think Illinois is going to win by a field goal. 6.5, way too much. Give me the Fighting Illini.
I am going to – so 6.5 goes to Indiana?
Indiana is giving 6.5 to Illinois. They're the favorite.
Oh, well, give me Illinois. I really like their passing attack. I really like this whole offense that they've got going together. Illinois looks really, really good this year. Like you said, a lot of returners. So I'm going with the Fighting Illinois as well.
All right, so we only disagree on one again this week.
I didn't plan that.
And that is Auburn and Oklahoma. Well, you shouldn't. It's supposed to be your gut feel. Auburn at Oklahoma is the only difference in our picks. And there you have it. We'll tally it up on Monday. I'm sitting right here in the Family Leisure Studio, the world's biggest spa sale still going on. It's $3,000, really under for a spa. That's right. You want to get into one of those beauties? Under $3,000 spas and swim spas, the bigger of the group, 30% off. The floor model special, it's going on. The newest thing, cold plunges, they started under $5,000. Special financing available. It's the world's biggest spa sale. It's happening right there at Family Leisure. Let's head cross town to I-240 and Walnut Grove. Christian Brothers High School is where our friend Coach Glenn Rogers is standing by his team at Brentwood tonight. We'll get into that later. But we start week 5. What have you learned so far, my friend? Good morning.
Good morning, Dave, on this Easy B Friday. I tell you, Dave, what's been amazing is the Thursday night game. You look at last night with Lausanne and Germantown. I think the TSSAA has done an excellent job of choosing these Thursday night games. It's been some competition on Thursday night, so instead of being stuck in the house watching the NFL, it's good for all the locals to get out on a Thursday night and enjoy some good high school football. We've been blessed to have it these first couple of Thursday nights in the season.
Yeah, all right. So you like that, and Lausanne and Germantown. That was last night.
They played last night, Dave. A shootout. Yeah, 40-35. Germantown won it.
Wow!
But I tell you, it was some points on the board, and you just see what we've been talking about all year long: the Division I caliber talent in this town and the surrounding areas. It's amazing, Dave. We got some talented kids in this area and across the state.
So why is that not reflected in the AP poll or the commercial appeal poll with all the Gannett state newspapers? Because the best team was Germantown, and I think they're ranked 10th this past week in their Super 25. Then you got to go like to 22, 24, and 25 to find Memphis teams. Southwind is down there. I mean, I don't understand. Is there a bias here? Or are they just not informed? Is it only because Wendell Shepard is the only writer in West Tennessee? I don't get why the respect never is there for the Memphis area teams.
And I think, part of what you're saying, Dave, is right. When you got one writer, it's hard for him to cover and see all these teams and the talent. You got to have more than one guy covering these areas. Because, football is a broad area. It's a lot of teams. And so, a lot of times we don't get the love because, East Tennessee and Nashville, all those powerhouse schools are there. But you got to get down to this area and see the wealth of talent. When you talk about Kelvin Perkins, the quarterback at Southwind, who reminds me of Barry Burnett so much. He's a bona fide Division I player. Then Gene Robinson has several guys, Collierville, Lausanne. The list goes on and on with the local talent here. And so, I think it's a combination with one beat writer for this area. This is a broad area. It's a lot of teams in this area, and he just don't get around to see all the talent, Dave.
Since you bring up Kelvin Perkins from Southwind, I was at the Touchdown Club on Monday. And I met him. He's committed to Austin Peay. Now, he did say he was waiting to see if somebody bigger might come along. Why is he relegated to the level of Austin Peay?
Dave, it baffles me. You know, quarterback is the most sought-after position in the portal. When you look at the portal, there's more quarterbacks in there than any other position in college football. And I think that's part of the reason why. But I tell you, Austin Peay is in the jewel of a guy, outstanding young man, great student of the game, works hard in the classroom. I've heard a number of positive things from Kevin Perkins since he's been at Southwind. And, you know, Coach Griffin and my cousin Earl Lester, they have a gym on their hand. And, Dave, he should be going somewhere high. But I tell you, Austin Peay is, they got to be celebrating, licking their chops because they're getting a fine quarterback. And, Dave, once he gets on campus there and he plays and he gets solidified himself as a starter, trust me, Dave, these colleges will be salivating to try to get their hands on because this kid can play.
All right, there are so many good games this week. Let's get to those picks. You're 16-5 after a 6-1 week last week, a good week. You only missed on Briarcrest, and they got a big game this week. We get to that in a second. Collierville has had to play really good teams. They're 2-2, and now they got to play another good one in a surprise. Arlington with a terrific quarterback that is now 4-0. How do you like that one?
Well, I think Joe Riccone, you know, 2-2 is not bad for the type of competition you've been playing. Coach Riccone's been playing. So I think Collierville's played the tougher schedule. I think they'll go in tonight at Arlington and get a win, and Coach Riccone get back on the winning side of things. I just think Collierville they'll be too big and physical with the schedule they play. They'll get back on the win confidence tonight, Dave.
Munford is perfect. They're 3-0. They've been a dynamo the last 2 or 3 years. But they got to go to Covington tonight, or rather to Haywood, and they're 3-1. And we know how tough that is to go to Haywood. Let me know who you think wins this one.
Well, you know, I really think Coach Calhoun, Munford, is one of the top coaches in his area, Dave. That offense he runs is hard to stop. You only see it once a year, kind of like the Navy offense. And I just think they'll go up there in a hostile environment in Haywood County. I think Coach Calhoun will pull a win out. He has enough talent. But like I said, Dave, when you're going up against that offense one time out of the year, it's hard to get prepared for that in 1 week. And I think they'll go up and get a win tonight in a hostile environment in Haywood County.
Munford a winner then. St. Benedict, that's the surprise of the year. This team, I think, has won 3 games in 3 years. They're 3-1 this year. They got a running back that keeps winning the Daily Memphian Player of the Week. He's a outstanding player, but they got to go to Briarcrest. It's becoming a juggernaut. What they did last week at Father Ryan was pretty impressive. This one, interesting. Who do you like?
Yeah, very impressive with Coach Massey and his staff last week up in Father Ryan in Nashville with big win, put a lot of points on the board. I think there'll be too much for St. Benedict tonight, Dave. You know, Mitch McDaniel, Coach McDaniel's brother, is doing an outstanding job. Has Marcus Bell and some other college guys on the staff. I think they run into a buzz starting tonight. Briarcrest has a lot of skilled guys. They're playing well on defense. David Donaldson has shown himself to be a shutdown corner on the outside. I just think Briarcrest would be too much for them tonight. Too many weapons, and the kicking game would be big. I think Briarcrest gets a win.
That was your miss last week. You had Father Ryan beating Briarcrest. That was your only mistake.
I won't make that mistake again.
Houston is 0-4. Those young freshmen and sophomores just too young to take on juniors and seniors, apparently. They've had such a tough schedule. They go to Bartlett. It's been a tough rebuild year for them, too. They're 1-3. Who wins this one?
I think, you know, Coach Thomas will get a win tonight. I think he has more you know, he's got young guys, but I think, you know, he has more talent, I think, than Bartlett. I think Houston gets out of the losing column, get their first win tonight. You know, Houston's played a tough schedule, Dave, like you said. Southwind, then they played Germantown. They played that 6A division is a tough division. It's a tough out. But I think that tonight they'll get a win tonight at Bartlett and get in the win.
South Haven, 2-1-1. I didn't even know we played the draws anymore. And then there's Whitehaven, another team that's played tough competition. They are 2-2. They appear to be back under their longtime coach, but I don't know if they're all the way back. Who wins this tough battle?
Well, you know, last week it was a heavy fight with Germantown and Whitehaven last week with Gene Robinson with his Germantown Red Devils pulling that victory out at Whitehaven. But, you know, like you said, Dave, Coach Rodney Salisbury, one of the most seasoned coaches in this area. I think that tailback is dynamic for Whitehaven. I think he's too much for South Haven to overcome tonight. I think Whitehaven gets a win tonight and get back in the win column after a tough home loss last week to Germantown.
All right, and then you've got to travel to Brentwood. You'll be going later today. The brothers 2-2. They really need a win. Brentwood is a good team, though. They always are 3-1. You don't pick your own team, but tell me what you got to do.
I'll tell you, we got to stop. They got a dynamic receiver, Dave, that's committed to Oregon. Two of them, matter of fact. One's committed to Oregon. The quarterback can throw the deep ball. But, it's just like the offense on defense. You have to stop the running game because they can run the football. They're big up front. We got to control the line of scrimmage. I thought we did a better job of that in the second half last week at Montgomery Bell. But, we got a punt block. So special teams, we shore some things up in that area. We just got to go play good, tough run defense, get the ball back to the offense. In offensive day, we got to be able to establish the line of scrimmage. We thought last week we had some successful plays, got a couple of penalties that caught us down back that would have got some momentum. But, on offense, we got to get the run game going to open up our passing game. And I think, Cole Frazier and Hunter Headsman, our two quarterbacks, we just got to find some rhythm and get that offense turned.
Last thing, tomorrow, big game for the Tigers, the barometer game of the year. How good is this Memphis team? 3-0. We find out with the Hogs coming in 2-1. How do you see that one, buddy?
Man, Dave, I'm just so happy for our program at Memphis. Big crowd. With these SEC schools coming here, Dave, and this is what the fans want to see. And I'm so glad Coach Silverfield got this game scheduled. And I just think we'll pull out a win tomorrow. It'll be a big crowd, a lot of excitement in the atmosphere. My dad and my family and I are going. I'm just ready to see a big crowd and a big-time opponent come in because I think, we rise to the challenge when these bigger schools come in because, Dave, we belong on a big stage, and I'm excited to see our guys, our Tigers, come out and perform and get that win tomorrow for the big crowd that'll be out there tomorrow.
We're less than 1,700 away from just about 40,000 fans. It should be an atmosphere like the good old days. Glenn Rogers Jr., good luck with you guys tonight. Thank you much. We appreciate it. We'll talk next Friday. In the meantime, I'll let you know, Glenn brought to you by Miramichi. That's the total golf experience. You can go on the weekends and really enjoy because they've got everything. They got people out there to, with that little thing they sell. I can't think of the word. What is it when you have a thing that sells beer and food and drink? It's a vendor truck or whatever the heck they call the cart. It's the cart. It's the beverage cart with a cute girl on it all the time. They got that. They got water all over the place if it's hot for you. And they got competition. They can play 7,500 yards at Miramichi. You can move up to where I like to play, just around 6,000. It's very competitive, beautiful all the way around, especially the back nine. Great practice facilities, a great clubhouse with great food, and a beverage cart. They got it all. It's Miramichi, not in Millington. It's in Woodstock, 25 minutes from East Memphis. Go check it out. You'll thank me later. We head to Fort Worth. Our friend Justin Fuente, now senior advisor for the College Football Playoff. He joins us in just a minute.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, everybody out there. Walker Taylor with Germantown and Kiowa Commissary. Football season is upon us. Nothing better for your next tailgate party than a barbecue buffet spread provided by the Germantown or Kiowa Commissary. Catering, self-serve or full, is a specialty of ours. No party too small, no party too large. You can check out our pricing and the items we feature at commissarybbq.com. Holidays will be upon us soon. At our Kiowa location, we have a party room for 30 up to 100, perfect for family, business, or church functions. We also have a patio at the Kiowa location, perfect in the fall for enjoying football and eating barbecue. Monday through Friday at the Kiowa location, we also offer an all-you-can-eat buffet featuring barbecue pulled pork, ribs, fried chicken, and catfish. Each location also offers a $10.95 lunch special, a sandwich, a side, and a drink. Please come visit us at the original in Germantown by the railroad tracks or our new location in Kiowa at Houston Levy and Poplar. And as always, go Tigers go.
Here's what sets NST Law apart. They don't just work in Memphis, they ride for Memphis. From school fundraisers to courtroom battles, they show up where it matters. And when someone in this city gets hurt, NST goes toe-to-toe with insurance giants. No fear, no favors. It's not just the law to them, it's loyalty. And if you ever need backup after a crash, NST's got your back. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or check out nstlaw.com. Don't miss the 53rd Annual Pink Palace Crafts Fair at Audubon Park, September 26th through the 28th. Bring the whole family and enjoy 3 days of food, live music, and of course, shopping for one-of-a-kind arts and crafts from across the Mid-South. It's a Memphis tradition you don't want to miss. The Pink Palace Crafts Fair, September 26th through the 28th at Audubon Park. Sponsored by First Horizon Foundation, Friends of the Pink Palace, and your friends at Sports 56.
All 650 acquisition fee, K4LX SE 183.3119, MSRP 24,440, K5LX ST 54,13,744, MSRP 28,750, Telluride SG 689,239, MSRP 38,255. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/2/2025.
Hey, you thinking about Kia? Well, you better be thinking about Jeff Allen over at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. I got him on the line right now. What's up, Jeff Allen?
How about this, Randy? 2025 Kia K4LX, $145 per month, 39 MPG highway. 2026 Kia K5LXS, $230 per month.
That's some great deals on K4 and K5. What else you got over there, Jeff?
How about 2025 Kia Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $298 per month. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease. Plus the all-new 2026 EV9, 72 months available with rates as low as 0%.
And they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Let's head down to Fort Worth, Texas, where our old coach, Justin Fuente, was a broadcaster sitting around, and then suddenly he got a phone call, and the College Football Playoff Committee made him an offer I guess he couldn't refuse. Coach, how did that work out? How did you become senior advisor for the College Football Playoff Committee? Good morning.
Well, good morning to you. I'm still trying to figure it out. I was just sitting on my couch minding my own business, and my phone started ringing, and the College Football Playoff decided that they wanted to bring somebody in that had coached, or at least been involved, didn't have to be a coach, I guess, been involved in football. And this wasn't a deal where they called and just, offered me the job. This was about a month of discussions. I know they talked to a bunch of qualified candidates from across the country, and they whittled it down, and I continued to ask questions. I probably had as many questions as they did about the job and the schedule, and my ability to still adhere to some of the commitments I've made here in my own house with my kids, going through middle school and high school. And after about a month, we kind of came to a decision that we'd like to try this. So I'm excited.
I guess your perspective is fairly unique. You have seen college football as a player. You've seen it at a big time program. You've seen it at a middle level program. You've been a coach both at a group of 5 and at a Power 4. So you've seen it that way. You've now seen it as a broadcaster. You've been doing that for a couple of years. So I would guess that your perspective would be pretty unique, certainly filled with a lot of experience. But I'm still not exactly sure what your job title is. I know it's not to do with the selection of the playoff teams, although we'll get into that in a second. You had a mock draft yesterday. But you're involved with, are you a liaison between like the conferences, the NCAA, the officials? How do you exactly Give us your job description.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, first of all, I haven't started, and nobody's had this job. Nobody's had this job before. So, while they do have a good description, and we've had a lot of conversations about it, I think there is a little bit of building the airplane as you fly it that's going to happen here. But I think essentially, kind of at the nuts and bolts of it, you really have three, for lack of a better term, sections or groups in the college football playoff. You have the board, which is made up of the conference commissioners plus the Notre Dame athletic director. You have the selection committee, which actually picks the teams. I should go back. The board basically makes the rules. The selection committee picks the teams. And then you have the college football playoff staff that puts the games on. And there is some crossover between those groups in terms of members of the college football staff are involved with both of those other two groups. The college football playoff staff hasn't had any. They're experts at putting on the games. They're experts at organization, communication, so on and so forth. But they haven't had an in-house person that had been involved on the inside of football. Certainly, they've had ops people and people that have been in administration, but not a player coach, somebody that had been involved in it. So they made that decision at the end of last year through some self-evaluation. And I think it's a little bit of a conduit to the coaches. I think it's a little bit of a communication piece. I think it can help internally in terms of just giving them another set of eyes and ears that maybe can see things from the player-coach perspective as they make decisions and putting these things on. So I think it's going to be pretty neat. It's going to be a unique challenge. I'm excited for it. I haven't been this excited for anything in terms of my own, professional life in some time. So I'm anxious to get started and really get in the middle of it and learn. I told these guys and gals, there's nothing worse than a young coach that comes on the staff and wants to tell you what to call on 3rd and 7 or even knows what you're trying to accomplish on offense. And
right.
For me, it's like I want to get in there and really learn, how this actually works so that hopefully I can find a way to help them continue to do great things for college football and put out a great product.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to figure. I guess it's a 52-week, a total year job, but who are you going to talk to the most? Is it going to be those conference commissioners? Will you have to deal with NCAA and the minutia that has? I saw that officials are in this. I think medical is in this too. And was it medical that prompted this decision to have somebody look at operations a little more closely?
Well, I think so. I think, last year, if you'll remember back to the Arizona State versus Texas game, I think that there was a pretty controversial targeting, maybe, if I'm getting this right, if I'm remembering correctly, maybe targeting non-call towards the end of the game that became a big deal. And I think through their evaluations, that was maybe the impetus for some of these conversations to have somebody inside that can speak the lingo, maybe that understands the vernacular and can do a great job keeping people inside the college football playoff informed of what's going on, maybe even see down the road of some things that may be troublesome that they need to get out in front of that maybe they didn't have before.
You were part, and I know you're not going to be involved in the selection process, but you were involved in a mock draft yesterday, and I was a little confused. I wasn't sure if they were using last year's teams to figure it out or this year's teams and how they think it might play out. Take us inside that boardroom yesterday, if you could.
Yeah, it was fascinating. For a football nerd like myself, it was just incredible. Basically, it was a mock selection process just involving ADs throughout the country. So from big schools, small schools, from all over the place. Mac Rhodes, who's the AD at Baylor, is the chair of the committee this year. He was there, and some members of the college football playoff staff. It was purely an educational exercise. I got to come in there and participate because I'm joining the staff here soon, and I think everybody on the staff, the college football playoff staff, goes through this. So I got a chance to sit in there and listen to basically how the sausage is made. They used last year's teams. It's a little bit hard, obviously, because you know how it played out. You know Ohio State won the national championship. You know who actually won these games.
Right.
But they used last year's teams and pretended like they were making the last rankings for the season. And we went step by step through the process of them using video. Every member of the committee has their own tablet and access to every game, and it's all pared down so you can get through the game in an hour. They use data points, incredible statistics database that they use to help also inform their decisions, and then they also have conference input. So they have three meetings a year. They have 2 people each that are in charge of each conference that basically give you a little bit of inside scoop into what's happening in the conference. If Lenora Sellers, just to remind you that Lenora Sellers was out for the second half of the game versus LSU or whatever it is.
Right.
Just to kind of keep you up to date. It was amazing. I've never felt better, quite honestly, about the thoroughness of the process, the integrity with which they demand from the people in there. And this is no easy job. I was just in one meeting that was probably a third as long as they usually meet. They usually meet over a day and a half, all day Monday and then half the day Tuesday to make these rankings. Really a fascinating process.
The only difference, I think I read this, the only difference from the way it ended last year was that Alabama got in and SMU did not. Is that the way it worked?
For the mock?
Yeah.
Or for...
Yeah.
Yeah, I to be honest with you, by the time we got to how it actually, like who was actually voting, to me that was secondary of how, I don't remember, quite honestly, how it all ended up working out. To me, it was just about the process of it and how they start with the rankings and then whittle them down. And I mean, the statistical evidence, again, not to just totally nerd out on this, but it was really incredible. There's a difference. I find this fascinating. There's a difference between the way ESPN calculates strength of schedule and the college football playoff, which I had never known, and I don't know how many people out there know that.
I didn't know that. I thought they copied it.
No, ESPN uses what's called decaying priors. So they don't. Basically, the college football playoff week 1, which they don't rank week 1, but they start with a blank slate. Okay, so all the strength of schedule metrics are all used from the beginning of this season on, whereas ESPN uses returning statistics from the previous year that become less valuable as the season goes along. So that creates some difference in those, which also can create some more, for people like you all, more conversation out there when ESPN's saying one thing and the college football playoff maybe ranks it slightly different.
Yeah, well, now we know, and ESPN is ranking it from the beginning here, and the College Football Playoff Committee doesn't put out their rankings until when? November, is it? First week, second week?
Yeah,
of November?
I think that's the first time, yeah.
I don't know if you'll be involved in this, if there's any kind of rules changes. Do you become involved in that? Are you speaking with the NCAA about that? And not to put any pressure on you, but would you be involved if there is a decision to expand from 12 to 14, 16, whatever that number may be? Are you going to be part of that conversation?
I would be highly surprised if I was involved in anything regarding expansion. I mean, that's going to come from the board, the conference commissioners, and the Notre Dame AD, which obviously they've, I'm assuming, already had multiple conversations about, and they'll figure out. In terms of rules, in terms of playing rules, I think, obviously I'll be responsible for continuing to understand and know what's going on and how those rules are, like there's a slightly different interpretation of targeting this year, so on and so forth. Understanding those so that they can be communicated not to the outside world, but to those that are either involved in the college football playoff, talking about teams, or even just personnel, have a a better understanding of that so that everybody's streamlined with their communication.
All right, last thing. I know that one of the prerequisites to take this job was you had to quit being a broadcaster. Are you going to miss that? Did you like being a broadcaster?
Shortest tenure ever. I tell my play-by-play guy, man, like, you're so hard to work with, I could only do this for 3 weeks. I mean, this is just brutal. But Brian Esters is the voice of the Horned Frogs, does a fantastic job. He called me. I feel awful about it, quite honestly. He called me many, many months ago and asked me to do this. And I had nothing going on. I said, yeah, I'd love to. And then this thing happened out of the blue. And Brian and the staff at TCU have been incredible, which actually hurts my feelings. Like, it makes me feel very easy to replace. But they've done an awesome job being supportive of this thing. I have my last game this Saturday. TCU plays SMU, so I'm looking forward to that. I did enjoy it. It was fun for me. Like, I enjoyed learning about the teams. I had access to film, so I could sit in my home and watch some film. And then, for me, the play-by-play guy is the talent. That's the way I view it. Like, that's the guy that is really a professional. For me, don't talk over the play-by-play guy, and then when he tees you up, talk about football, which is fun for me. I usually say, I have a home here with 4 women, and none of them ever listen to me. So when I get a chance to get a microphone and a captive audience, I'm all in.
And you never get in the bathroom either. Listen, I'm sincere. I congratulate you. I think you'll make a contribution to the sport you love. I think it's great, and I know we'll chat again here sometime soon. Thank you so much, Coach.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate the kind words, and go Tigers.
Yeah, there you go. We need it against the Hogs this week for sure. That is Justin Fuente, now the senior advisor for the College Football Playoff Committee. He is brought to you in part by Shell Dunn. He got 11 offers in 5 days. That's the truth. 11 offers in 5 days. Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors could hardly play his normal lousy game of golf recently because he was too busy. When another one of his listings in East Memphis became so popular, many of the offers were above list price. Another one of his listings, this one in Germantown, sold and it wasn't even on the market. Well, he will tell you this doesn't always happen. There are ways to see your property become the hot one that people really want. Being part of a nationwide relocation network, well, that's really good, but it's the highly successful strategic marketing program that makes the difference in what you make and when you make it. So if you know somebody who's thinking of selling, interview 2 or 3 real estate guys, but make sure Sheldon's one of them. Find out why people say, when you want the job done, you call Sheldon. MemphisRelocate.com. You can get them there, or 483-0546. We take a break. We're going to South Haven. Our friend Munzie standing by. We talk Memphis and the Hogs. He's going to be a part of that. But really, Tiger basketball. That's next, right here on Wolo and Friends.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Marshall Steakhouse is a feast for the eyes as well as the body. Enjoy all American USDA prime steaks, aged 30 days or more, and other delicious meats and sides. Marshall Steakhouse in Holly Springs, named the #1 steakhouse in Mississippi by the Food Network, and named in the top 2 most legendary steakhouses in the South by Southern Living Magazine. Make reservations today and get free bread pudding by calling 662-252-2424 or online at marshallsteakhouse.com. Marshall Steakhouse in Holly Springs, a Southern treat.
If you're hungry and ready for action, get both this Friday at Top Gun, 2770 Whitten Road, because Top Gun is now the home of Fox Ridge Pizza, serving the best pizza and burgers in Memphis since the 70s. I'll be there from 11 to 1 this Friday with specials like a free range pass with ammo purchase and special unlimited range use Monday through Friday for just $29.99, and a chance to win tickets to the Memphis FAU game. Plus, we're celebrating the grand opening of Fox Ridge Pizza inside Top Gun, 2770 Whitten Road. See you this Friday.
Memphis football is back in action Saturday, September 20th when the Tigers take on SEC neighbor Arkansas in the Rhythm and Roar game presented by FedEx. Kickoff is at 11 and Tiger Nation, wear blue. The first 5,000 fans will score a special t-shirt honoring the culture and history of Memphis music. Plus, enjoy Tiger Walk and stick around for live music on Tiger Lane hosted by Stax Academy. Don't miss it. Be all in and get your tickets now at gotigersgo.com/tickets.
Looking for a new ride for less than $5 a day? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 2025 Kia K4 LX, $145 a month, 39 MPG highway. 2026 Kia K5 LXS, $230 a month, and 2025 Kia Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $298 a month. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease. Plus, we got it the all-new 2026 EV9, 72 months available, and rates as low as 0.00. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, K4 LX SE 183 MSRP 24,440, K5 LX T54 13,744, MSRP 28,750, Telluride SG 689 239, MSRP 38,255. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/2/2025.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs. 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic and $5 craft pints on Mondays. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays. Daily specials and online ordering. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check Facebook for daily specials and weekend music at the Owner's Box.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
To South Haven we go. And our friend Munzie, fresh off of vacation, joins us now. How you feeling? Are you rested up? Are you raring to go? I know you got the Tigers and the Hogs tomorrow. They're less than 1,700 away from a sellout. We could have 40,000 on hand. It'll be like the good old days. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, no, I feel rejuvenated. I got some R&R and I'm ready to go. And I got back to work earlier this week, but I'm definitely looking forward to the football game tomorrow as well.
Yeah. What do you look for in that game?
A lot of points, more than likely.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It would not shock me. I mean, I mean, obviously the odds are with the Hogs. Vegas has Arkansas winning the game. I think that's entirely possible. I don't know. I just have a sneaking suspicion. There's something about this game that I feel like is working in Memphis's favor. Like, if Memphis doesn't win, I think it's still going to be close.
I'm with you. I think Memphis can win the game. I think 7.5 is much too much. I'm already kind of said that earlier in the show. So I think it will be truly a lot of fun to see how this thing unfolds. They gotta try to slow down that quarterback. He's really he's worth the price of admission.
Maybe slowing him down, I think, is controlling the ball. And, like, part of controlling the ball is running it really well. And Memphis, as we know, has the ability to do that. And so, I don't know. Something tells me that Memphis is gonna. I don't know. I feel like Memphis is extremely motivated. I feel like they want it more than Arkansas does. And so, yeah, it's in Memphis, and could be a good day tomorrow.
In the meantime, basketball's right around the corner. I believe the Grizzlies camp is like less than 2 weeks away. And of course, the Tigers will be playing at the end of October. I guess it's about a month, right? where
a
the Tigers begin.
A little more than a month.
Yeah, a little more. Yeah, the today's what, the 19th? So we're talking five weeks pretty much, where it will all begin. And you've really started to do a lot of stories. You're great at the whole roster, and we'll get into that in a second. But I want to start with Hassan Abdul Hakim, kid who came from UT. Oh, no, not UT. UT Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah.
You gave an A- to and said he could be the next Draymond Green. I just am curious why you're so high on this guy. Not saying he's not a good player, because Penny has a good eye for guys. We've seen that for sure. But the next Draymond and an A- coming from UT RGV?
Well, let me be clear. I did not say Draymond Green. Those were Penny's words. Penny actually is the one who said, the way he phrased it exactly was, he's a Draymond Green type player, and that was in the midst of him being very effusive with his praise for what he has seen so far out of Hassan Abdul Hakim, and that's, he thinks he's a great rebounder. He says he's very strong. He says he's extremely versatile, can guard 1 through 4. And that's, literally everything that I have heard about him. Not just since he got here. I spent the last 2 weeks, not counting my vacation, doing a lot of interviews with people who know him best. Like, I talked to the prep school coach in Florida that coached him. I talked to the junior college coach in Florida that had him for 2 seasons. I talked to the junior college coach in Idaho that had him for a season. And then, of course, I talked to Penny, and I talked to him, and I talked to his mother, and it's a really great story. Like, apart from the basketball, he's had a really, really interesting life and kind of a wild journey, at least for the last 7 years. But and so that's all in the story. If you haven't read it, it's at commercialappeal.com. But I mean, listen, he only played 12 games at RGV last season, but he averaged 14 and 7. He's a 6'8" point forward, and to me, he's in a very similar mold of Naquan Tomlin and DeAndre Williams. And I'm just going to say...
All right, if he can play like those two, you're
exactly.
talking. But
exactly.
But Naquan Tomlin was doing that at Kansas State.
Very true. Speaking of which, after his abbreviated season last year at UTRGV, among the offers that he had, apart from Memphis, were Clemson, TCU, and a very familiar name, and you just brought up Kansas State. The other thing is, I found this in my research while I was writing that story. One of the first big games he had at the junior college level came against Chipola Junior College in Florida in 2021. He scored 22 points, had 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. They lost the game, but he outplayed one Naquan Tomlin, who only had 11 points. He also had 11 rebounds, but it was a matchup of 2 guys who would one day eventually become Tigers, and one of them is Hassan Abdul Hakim, who, by the way, is 24 years old. I think that's another important thing to note here, that he's older.
That's a mature body for sure. All right, so who should I be most excited about? Him, Bradshaw, who you gave an A- to, who's failed at Ohio State and Kentucky. Should I be Doug McDonald, because I hear he could beat P.J. Haggerty's that good a player. Of course, he's coming from K-State, where he's proven. Sincere Parker, and you probably need to give us an update on him, because that guy is a scorer. Who are the guys I should be most excited about?
Yeah, I gave Aaron Bradshaw an A-, and a big reason why is because, yes, he has not realized his potential yet. He dealt with injury at Kentucky. He dealt with another off-court situation at Ohio State last season. And I think both of those things, he missed time for both of those things. And I think, that contributed to his sort of not his failure to get into a groove at either one of those places. We've seen in the past that Penny Hardaway is really, really good at sort of helping players who hadn't yet gotten to their ceiling get closer to their ceiling. Dane Danger last season, he had been in college for a number of years, and it hadn't clicked at Baylor, it hadn't clicked at Illinois, it clicked here. And that's just one example. So, listen, he's 7'1", and he can shoot threes. Like, at some point, it's either going to happen or it's not. I think the odds are that this is his third season in college. I feel like he's got a good shot to do that. Yeah, Doug McDaniel, I rated him a little bit lower just because, I mean, like, you know, the production has been there, but he's never been on a winner. 2 seasons at Michigan, 1 season at Kansas State, and he's never been to the NCAA tournament. That, to me, sort of, you know, I question that a little bit. But I do like him. Like, he's I think he's going to be a very, very good player at Memphis.
Parker update?
Yeah, Sincere Parker. He was supposed to have a hearing before I went on vacation, I guess a couple of weeks ago, and the hearing got reset for a future date. So that future date is October 2nd, and they're basically, you know, we talked to his attorney a couple weeks ago, who said that was normal, that it's just, that's the way the legal system works. It's not like a sign of anything good or bad for either side. It's just the way things work sometimes. And he remains very confident that this is going to get resolved before the season begins, and that it will work out favorably for Sincere Parker.
All right, let's say that's the case. Give me, and you got less than a minute, give me the starting 5 for this team.
Doug McDaniel, Sincere Parker, Hassan Abdul-Hakim, Aaron Bradshaw, Tariq Ingram. I'm very high on Tariq Ingram. I think I gave him a B+, and the only reason I didn't grade him higher than that is because he just signed. Or actually he hasn't signed yet. They're still working that official signing out. But but once he's on the team and on the practice floor, I think he is a big piece to the puzzle. Before they got him, they didn't have anybody like him, a true big man. He's 6'9", 240 pounds. Kind of sounds a little bit like Dane Dange's measurables to me. So
now we got Danger, we got Draymond Green, we got Bradshaw, who's going to be this is going to be fun. I can't wait to find out what you think our record's going to be, and we'll ask you that next week. We got to go. We're out of time. I'll see you at the Sim tomorrow. Thank you much, my friend.
See you tomorrow.
That is Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal, brought to you by Southern Security. Are you getting the lowest possible rate on your mortgage? At Southern Security, they offer the lowest rates, flexible terms, no PMI, and the best service. You can refinance your current mortgage with the Mid-South's best mortgage leader 6 years in a row. They've been voted #1 credit union. Here's how you join. You go to southernsecurity.org or call and talk to a human being at 901-452-7900. Southern Security is an equal housing lender, proud supporters of the Tigers and 901 Women. Southern Securities, that's your home team credit union, federally insured by NCUA. And it's also brought to you by Miramichi, the complete golf experience, the best practice facilities of any public course, and not in Millington. 25 minutes from my driveway in East Memphis, it's Woodstock. It's a walk through the hills and the woods. It's beautiful. It's competitive. You can play it from 7,500 yards. You love the service. You love the clubhouse. You love the whole deal. It's the complete golf experience, again, in Woodstock. It's Miramichi. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at the Sim.